Your question is posterity.
Hi, Stuart. I would like to ask,
Yes,
how
sir.
would I, how would I conserve the energy I accumulate during the meditation class and not accidentally give it away or throw it away when I interact with negative people?
Uh, you know, I answer this question just about every day. Question from people.
Can you
Uh,
answer it again?
the answer is, you know, I mean, you live a long distance from me. You live in Australia, for God's sake. I mean, that's it's a 24-hour plane trip from here. I mean, if you live closer, I would say come to New York. And you will get, like today, I had people for a class around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The classes are very strong. And I do hands-on work with people. I really am trying to give people training that I can't do in Zoom. You understand? I can't put my finger on your forehead. So, I mean, it will get ridiculous. So, you know, there's a lot of ways. I don't know how to overcome your situation other than to tell you, conserve the energy, come to as many classes as you can, and work on yourself to try to really develop an inner life. You know, I mean, there's a lot of energy in these classes. Even on Zoom, there's a lot of energy. And if you take that energy in deep and don't just waste it, you know, it's like digesting food. You understand? I mean, the nutrients and everything go, excuse me, to build a healthy body. And at some point, we get rid of, you know, the stuff we can't digest. We have to become that intelligent about the use of spiritual energy. That same organic intelligence that our bodies have. I mean, I wish you lived next door, Ofer. You know, you're a very good student, and I think a lot could happen in my developing you, but you don't. You live in Australia, for God's sake. I've been invited to Australia half a dozen times, and every time I thought about the paint trip, I just turned them down. I said, no, I'm not going to go on a plane for 20. It was bad enough to go to India, you know, which was 18, 20 hours, you know.
As soon as I can come to
I
US,
flew to India and back 40 times in my life. I said, it's enough. I can't do that trip. Please try and sit still and don't drink water until the class is over. Another 10 minutes.
I will try to come to the US as soon as possible, whenever I can.
I hope so. But meanwhile, just do the work as you're doing it and open the way you're opening. And I'm sure the growth will be very deep inside you. I'm sure of it. Because your need for spiritual life is right on. You know, I can see it, you know? It's right on. And just continue to do the work and let it unfold. And maybe at some point, you'll make the 24-hour trip to New York. And meanwhile, we have Zoom. There's 4 classes a week in the Western Hemisphere, and take advantage of them. I mean, the classes in Israel and in Europe are probably in a time zone that it's not going to work for you. You know, I think it's 3 o'clock in the morning there or something. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, Stuart.
No, thank you for wanting and doing the work you do on yourself. It's wonderful. I really appreciate it. Does anyone else have a question?
I have a question, Stuart. You talk about the third chakra, and this work is in the third chakra. And when I looked at pictures of like the chakra systems, it looks like in the chakra system that's the third is above the navel, not below, and that threw me off a little bit. Can you explain that?
There's nothing to explain. The hara, the foundation, is located right below the navel. Whether it's the first, fifth, seventh, eighth, or 10th chakra, I'm really not interested. I'm not a theologian, so I don't study those which chakra, but I do know the grounding in a human being is 2 fingers below the navel. That's the center that grounds us. That's the center that gives us power, that gives us strength inside ourselves. That's where the chi emanates from. And whether they design it to be above or below, I don't care. I'm not interested.
Got it. They call that one the second chakra. I just wanted, just.
All right, then it's the second chakra. I don't care. Just keep your attention in the area 2 fingers below the navel.
Got it. Perfect.
That's where the power is. And if it's the second chakra, I always thought the first chakra was the base of the spine. The second one was the sex. And the third one was right below the navel.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I saw the pictures and it definitely looked like the third was above, but I get what you're saying is the one right below the navel, which in that picture I saw was the second, just right below the navel, whichever it's categorized as.
I won't argue with them, okay? Just bring your attention there, okay? I don't care if they call it the second, third, fifth, or 10th. I'm not interested. Just bring your attention. That is where the chi is. I used to have these ancient chakra men. When I had a gallery in New York, I sold an incredible one to the Guime Museum one. It was really extraordinary. And I used to have all charts of chakras, but I've never been good at doing that kind of study. I'm much better at experiential. What really works. And they can call it whatever, a rose by any other name sounds just as sweetly, to quote Shakespeare, So bring your attention to the chakra below the navel. That's the key to building foundation inside yourself, developing grounding and balance. It's also the key to have the power to sustain the work that it takes to have a spiritual life. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you.
I always say it, Chris knows about this. And, singers are all trained to be focused there. The great singers sing from there. Great dancers dance from there. The great athletes, when they're in that zone, that's where they are. They don't even know they're there, but that is where they are. It's that chi that creates the balance and the power in a human being. And in, Hindu, they don't even call it chi. It's just Shakti, energy in that chakra. But it's in every religion, for God's sake. The Judaism, they have the Kabbalah with the Shephiroth, and they diagram a chart that's just like the chakra system in a human being. It's in every religion. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask?
Stuart, before the lockdown, when you were still having classes in the city, I brought a friend to your meditation. And I remember you'd said she was full of light. Could you talk about that being full of light? Does that mean they're free from karma? What does that mean?
Well, I don't remember who the friend is, but I probably thought she was highly gifted and could truly learn how to have a spiritual life. But sometimes really gifted people, very difficult to teach, because whatever they do, they're gifted at, and they bounce from this to that, to the other, to the other. But I don't remember who it was. But being full of light, usually when I see a person like that, it means that they have an enormous capacity to learn what I have to teach. Whether they do or not, then depends on me, and it depends on them. Do I go deep enough to nurture them? Do they have enough need to continue and do the classes. So that really is the key to that. But I don't remember the person. It's a long time ago, and I can't tell you how many people have come through my life since then. But when I say that, that's what I mean. I mean, look, Paula, you're getting full of light. Look how different you are today than you were when I first met you. When I first met you, I said, oh my God, I liked you a lot, but I said, this is going to be a journey. And look how far you've come in your life. It's just wonderful,
I'm grateful.
It's like I always tell Isabel, she's like My Fair Lady, Isabel Doolittle in My Fair Lady, She's come so far in her life that, what she's come out of and what she is today is just staggering to me. And it's real testament to the meditation that we practice here, that it can do this for people. But I can't just do it for anybody. I can't go out on the streets and preach Kundalini yoga, because it's not going to work. People have to come and work on themselves. And then this meditation is like a miracle, how it transforms people. But I always see Isabel. She reminds me of Audrey Hepburn in My Family. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart, can you talk about feeling the flow? Because I've really been working with tuning in to feel so that it's, I feel it. It's not just like my mind is trying to point to something.
Well, it gets back to the same answer again, Wendy. If you bring your attention and focus in what you call the second or third chakra, that'll enable the heart to open. And when the heart opens, you're going to feel the flow. I mean, you're going to have feelings like joy, love, deep surrender, forgiveness, and those are very, very important emotions in a human being. What blocks it is the congested mind that people have. That doesn't allow, it's like it dams up the works. It doesn't allow the energy to flow through the chakra system. So the energy comes and just bounces off, can't get through. But if the mind is focused in the navel chakra, all that creative energy comes. I mean, that's all the creative energy that's created all the music and art that's ever been created in the world. I mean it, the greatest of it. And if we're open to that flow, it not only builds us inside, it gives us a more creative life on the exterior. Does anyone else have a question? It's been a hard day for me today, God. Sprained my ankle in the gym the other day, and boy, it's been very painful today. Hoping it goes away soon. Does anyone else have a question?
Yeah, hi, Stuart.
Hi.
Is it beneficial when you experience situations in life to see what is karmic? Why?
Larry, I can't make out what you're saying. It's garbled a bit.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was asking, is it beneficial in life to realize a situation is dealing with karma?
Well, every situation is dealing with karma. Some very powerful karmas that we need to work through, like family and, relationships, close friends. And some karma, you might have slammed the door in somebody's face. And, somebody comes along and opened the door for them, and they worked out a karma from 2 lifetimes ago. I mean, it's all karma. As we grow inside, we begin to recognize that every activity, every act is an opportunity not to think about it, but to, as living experience, to work out some form of karma in our life. I mean, I'll never forget, I was sitting with Rudy in his store one day, and this old kind of beggar woman, excuse me, bag lady, walked in. And he went up to her, and he was so kind to her and nice to her. And I, and didn't just throw her out of the store and say, go. And he said to me, Stuart, you never know how God is going to manifest in your life. You never know. God has thousands of masks, and you never know how God is going to come. And that was, in his own way, working out a piece of karma with that person, whoever that person was. I remember in Texas when I went to visit this young girl and her mother. The girl was in a car accident that severed her spine, and she couldn't move below the neck. And I took one look at her and her mother, and I knew that I had karma in this situation to work out. And the day that I met them, I invited them, Bob Singh can tell you, I invited them to come live in our house. And they came, and they lived there for years. And, maybe 3-4 times a week, I would do healing work with her, meditation with her. It was something, but I knew. I just walked in their house and I said, no, there's something here that's connected to me from a very ancient place, and I have to work out this karma. So I invited them to come live at the ashram, I think 3 days later they came. Does anyone else have a question? It's like that book I wrote called Leah, basically, based on something, similar that happened to me. But the moment I saw this young girl, I knew whatever it was, I had real karma with this person. And I had to do whatever I could to help her in a time of crisis. Does anyone else have a question? I hope this is all clear to you all, because the answers are not terribly complicated, they're very simple. And as we evolve and grow inside ourselves, it becomes obvious the things we have to do in life. There's no complication, we do them, But our consciousness has to evolve to where we can see life that way. We can see past the illusion. Does anyone else have a question I would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions. Excuse my cough. I really am very tired, and this cough becomes pretty serious when I get tired. But if there are no more questions, there will be a class Tuesday night. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. And again, as I always end this, God bless you all for being here, participating in this. And it just really opens me in such a deep way to be able to do this with all of you. And I'm grateful for that. I really am. You know, so bless you and thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Thursday. Have a wonderful evening and day tomorrow.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart. I hope you feel better soon.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.